Well, I thought it was a great team win last week for us up in Delaware. Our guys went up and managed the conditions. It was a cold, windy day. We didn't play as well as I thought we could have on offense, but defensively and special teams-wise, we gave ourselves an opportunity to stick around, and when we had the opportunity to score points, we put the ball in the end zone. But very proud of our guys for the resolve that they've showed, being tough and being resilient to have us in this situation to be able to go 6-6. I think when you look at where we were, a month ago, we're sitting there, I think, at 1-5, and if you don't have a tough and resilient football team, that team folds. And it's because of guys like these four guys at our table and the rest of our seniors that we're able to be in a situation where we have the opportunity to go 6-6. It's going to be a tough ball game this week, but we're playing here at home at Dick Price, and it's the last time that these guys will play in this stadium. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about coaching these guys one more time.
What do you see as the strengths for South Carolina?
They're a very good football team. I'm a huge Buddy Pugh fan. I've known Coach Pugh for a lot of years. I have a ton of respect for him and what he's done. And they're back to playing South Carolina State football. They've got a big physical defensive line, very athletic linebackers, athletes in the secondary. On offense, they're playing a two-quarterback system. They're throwing the ball more than they have in past years. Obviously, they've been a tough physical, kind of run it down your throat type of football team. But, their record speaks for itself, and they're as good as their record is. So we're going to have to make sure that we play Norfolk State football and just remain who we are. We're not going to change a ton of things about what we do. We're going to line up and execute on Saturday to give ourselves a chance to win.
Double-digit touchdowns for their main wide receiver. What makes him a tough matchup?
He's a good ball player. Obviously, we've watched him on crossover tape all season. He has the ability to separate, has the ability to go up and get the ball, and obviously the older quarterback and the younger guy found ways to get to him. He's a guy that they're going to target, and we're going to have to make sure that we can match up accordingly. But our skill guys play against a pretty good group of wide receivers in practice every day, so we'll be prepared on Saturday.
What is this group of seniors meant to you in this program?
It's a very special group of guys, man. You think about it, it's been a tough week for me having explained to my 5-year-old that he's not going to get a chance to see Nigel, on a daily basis. But it's a group that very, very special to me, very special to this program. People at Norfolk State don't realize what these guys have been through and what they have a chance to accomplish, and I'm just fortunate to have had a chance to coach these guys.
What have they been through?
It just ups and downs. We didn't expect this thing this season to be this way, and they, as I said, they could have tanked it, and it says who they are. You look at it; these guys played three essentially guaranteed games, and essentially we played the top 3 teams in the league, and we're sitting there at 1-5. And if you're not a tough bunch of kids and a group of kids that are willing to stay true to each other and stay true to your staff, then you're not where we are right now. It's because of these guys.
What can you say about each of them individually?
It's funny, man, because I think back to home visits and official visits. When we signed Dom out of Oscar Smith, we never envisioned him being a guy that would start a ton of games for us on the offensive line. He was initially recruited as a long snapper, and his toughness and resolve has led him to be in a situation where he's the quarterback of our offensive line. Dom, probably talks more than any guy on our team on game day, and his teammates give him a bunch of crap for it. But he's the leader of the offensive line. He keeps those guys together. He's the glue to that unit. Aaron Savage has been counted out 10 times this season. He's played through injuries, and he's done whatever it's taken for him to be a contributor to this team. And when he hadn't been able to play, he's a big reason that Rabbit and Kevin have had the success that they've had because of guys like Aaron and Gerald Hewlett kind of mentoring and managing those young guys in that room. Bobby's one of the leaders of this team. If I'm not mistaken, Bobby's probably started every game since you've been here. And, I remember when he was a freshman, he playing his first game against Elizabeth City. And now to come to this, it just says who he's become. We challenged him to be more physical, to be more dominant at safety, and he's done that. And his big play last week really is the play that flipped the game last week to kind of put us in control for good. And, we talked about Nigel a ton last week. I think Nigel's the spiritual leader, the heart and soul of this defense. Anytime you're nearing 100 tackles on the season, you're playing good football. And there were times this season that I challenged him because I didn't think he was playing as well as he was capable of playing. And in this day's society, a lot of kids, when you tell them that, they take it one way. He took it personal and he changed it. And, he ratcheted his game up to another level, and it's been great seeing him produce and be productive over the last couple of weeks. And there are 8 other guys who aren't here that mean a ton to our program. And as I say, I could go on for days talking about them, but we're very fortunate at Norfolk State as a university to have had these guys on our campus, and we've never had any issues out of any of these guys. You've never seen any of these guys in the newspaper or on the news for doing something negative. These guys are all on track to graduate, and that's what we do here outside of football.
And I'd like to ask each of you guys individually, what can you say about the journey that you've been on here at Norfolk State from when you were a freshman first starting and to now, knowing that you only got 1 game left? How do you view your time here at Norfolk State, and how do you think it's helped you grow as a player and as a person? We can start with Dal.
I feel as though coming from Oscar Smith, having a mentor like Coach Morgan through my high school years, and then coming to Norfolk State and having the mentors that I had in the O-line room, as far as players like Trace Humphreys, who was a mentor to me when I first got here, to now he helped me shape to what I am today. As far as Coach Scott also, it's made me grow as a man. It's made me take a hold of my responsibilities of who I'm supposed to be as a man.
From freshman year, a lot of people don't know, I didn't play football. I was focused on my academics, and so when I got a chance to play football, I walked on, and Coach Scott and Coach Hardesty, before Coach Sherman came, those guys gave me a fair shot. They didn't treat me like a walk-on. They treated me like I was part of the team. And, like I said, they gave me an opportunity, and I was able to look up to guys like Quintrell Chung and Marty Bishop and Shaquem Copeland, and ultimately learning a lot from those guys. Now the script is kind of flipped now, and I'm in that leadership position, myself and Gerald Hewlett, and I find myself constantly pouring back into the younger guys. So it's been a journey, but I wouldn't change anything for it. We're here about to have a chance to tie for first place in the MEAC, and this is what we wanted out of the season, and I wouldn't have wanted to do it with any other group of guys.
Backing on what Chavis said, I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else. When I first got here, Coach Scott gave me my only offer, so it's me and his relationship is a little bit different than everybody else's. You know what I'm saying? And when I first got here, I didn't know what position I was going to play. Christian Parker, my recruiting coordinator, he took me under his wing. He taught me safety, and ever since then, I just got better and better each year. And now I'm a captain, and now I'm a leader as a defensive back. And Sandy Chapman, Harry Freeman, it's a lot of guys that helped me get to where I am now. And it's kind of emotional. I'm trying to keep it together, but it's hard, man. And to think this is my last game, but everything gonna be all right. We gonna get this W. Nigel.
Yeah. But like I was gonna say though, coming in, we all looked it up to the older guys, like Deion King, B-Lo, Dante, all the older guys coming in. They just welcomed us in like we were part of the family. So I feel like that helped us transition from high school into college. And then just once we got to play, once we on the field together, just everyone getting along. And I feel like over the years, I grew as a better leader. Like first coming in, I probably just be quiet, sitting on the side, still doing what I have to do, but not saying too much. But now, as the years go on, I feel like I'm starting to speak up more.
Dom, seeing it firsthand, what can you say to the growth of the offensive line, not just this season, but in the years that you've been here?
The growth has been tremendous. Just going through 3 different O-line coaches now, I felt like we've gained something from each O-line coach as a group, but we've grown in the cohesiveness as a unit. Like I said, when I first got here, it was like Trace Humphreys and us, and it was like, I'd say it wasn't too many of us. It was like a few of us, because going through that next spring, it was only like 5 of us playing at the time and taking every rep. So it's like after each season, we keep gaining more people like Justin Red and Jalen Powell, adding to the group and cohesiveness. Then we add more with Elijah Hill and Demontre Smith. It just feels like everything's been cohesively coming together as far as a group. I feel like we've become more physical as far as like the run game goes, and I feel like that's the chip on our shoulder that we carry now, especially when we brought in Coach Torrey. I feel like he added to that physicalness, because that's what we live for now. We live for running. We live for running the ball. We live for the 3rd and 1. We live for just getting down and going face mask to face mask with anybody.
Aaron, what can you say about the camaraderie of the running back group? What talked to Rabbit or Kevin recently, and they always kind of mention you and Gerald as being those guys that not only produce on the field but also give plenty of advice off the field. So, what is it like between you guys, and what do you hope to see from the future, and of course this game against South Carolina?
It's a family. I mean, I can't really say much more than that. There's never any type of malice towards anybody. Like, we all want to see each other do well. So it's like whoever's in the game, like everybody else is on the sideline kind of cheering them on. And, we always kind of give feedback to each other, like, what did you see on this or what did you see on that? And like I said, it's always positive. But, man, I can't say enough about the growth of Kevin and Rabbit. And I'm not even going to take a ton of credit for that, because if those guys wanted to earlier in the season, they weren't playing as much, and they kind of could have, fell out of it. But, they stayed locked in, and we always told them when your opportunity comes, take advantage of it, and that's exactly what they're doing now. And I'm proud of those guys. I'm going to continue to come back even after I graduate, and I'm going to be hard on them. Like, I look at myself as a big brother to those guys. And with G came in last year, and I didn't really know G like that, so it was kind of like him and I were kind of feeling each other out a little bit. But that's my brother, and even after football, I'm going to stay in contact with those guys years moving forward. And I mean, that's not even just the running back room; that's the entire team, as a whole. Like, it's a family, and it's more than it has been in the past. And so I think that's why we're having so much success now.
Bobby, what are one or two of your favorite memories here in Norfolk State?
One of them, two. First, my first game here, I knocked the dude helmet off. My life ain't been the same since.
It'd be targeted in today's society.
Yeah, it would be. I would have been out the game, but I would say that had to spark my whole college football career off. And then I say when I caught the interception at FAMU for their homecoming, I thought I was out of bounds, but the way the ref said interception, and they were just so upset. Just made me feel so good.
Nigel, what's it been like being a part of this linebacking group? You guys have gone through transition scheme-wise, but you've also had the opportunity to help some guys along that are making a transition from different positions, like Tyree and Quintrell previously. So what has that group been like for you?
At the end of the day, when you can reach out and help somebody else improve, I think that's big on your part. Just seeing those guys improve, transition, like Tyree moved from quarterback to linebacker. Quintrell moved from running back to linebacker, so it ain't like they moved from defense to another position. They moved from the whole opposite side of the ball. So the defense and offense, you got to have a different mindset. But I feel like with those guys, they came over to our side of the ball with a good mindset, ready to put in the work, ready to go hard, and then just their attitude. They just help all us get through it.
Coach, you mentioned that Dom likes to talk on game days. What are some of the other superlatives, senior superlatives for the other guys?
Man, there are a lot of things that we can't say, in a setting like this. But I mean, they're all great. I mean, they've all got, great personalities, and they've all contributed from day one. I mean, every one of these guys is a household name around here. And if you look at, with the exception of Dom, just because of what he does, I mean, people talk about, Savage, and people talk about Bobby Price, and people talk about Nigel, but no one can say anything bad about him, and that's what I'm most proud about. And as I said before, they're going to graduate, and they're going to go on, and some of them will have chances to keep on playing ball, but all these guys are going to be successful, in whatever they do. But as far as stories, I mean, they're just, I could go on for days. We'd be here until practice time talking about all the good times, but I'm just, it's a tough conversation for me to have.
That is one thing I want to ask you about, the fact that there is never really any trouble when it comes to this team. It's always been a good group of guys, and how important is that when you're trying to build a program and set a tone and mentality for a team?
They listen. We have our conversations, behind closed doors, but they're a great group of young men, and just to see what they've become, and it's very important to them that we don't get negative publicity, and that we tell them all the time, respect yourselves, respect your parents, respect the program, respect the school, and they've done it.
All right, are there any other questions? Guys, thank you very much. Good luck on Saturday.
All right.
Thank you, guys.